The early church fathers did not believe in a millennial time period in the future. And the ones who wrote the Bible never mentioned it. So only after AD 385, when there was a Bible, and then the book of Revelation became sort of part of that Bible, did people then start to, well, what is this about? You know, well, the reality was the temple was still in place when the book of Revelation was written, and the book of Revelation was written probably somewhere around AD 66. So actually the temple is stated as still being there, but of course subsequent to that, when the armies came from Rome and surrounded Jerusalem, it ended up being destroyed, as Jesus prophesied it would be in Matthew 24. And he gave very clear signs of what to look out for before the end would come. And he said that end would be in that generation. It was in that generation. And that's not the only passage that talks about that. And it's very much talking about a period in which the gospel was preached to those, and that kingdom gospel went out to the whole world as they knew it at that time. And then the end came. And so I'm not really believing in a literal millennial period. I don't even believe that actually what that's talking about relates to where we are now. We're in the period of the restoration of all things, and the kingdom of God is filling the earth. Therefore, we should have no fear for the future. Eschatology, which is a study of the end times, is actually an oxymoron, because in reality, there is no end to the increase of God's government and peace. So there will be no end. There will just be transition from one age to another. There will be no end of an age in a destructive way, like the end of the old covenant. The new covenant was established, the kingdom was established, and it is increasing, like leavening the whole lump until the whole lump has been leavened, which is where I would be coming from on this. But I do go into it in pretty much great detail. The same root where the rapture teaching came from and the millennial teaching came from, which was dispensational teaching, was also the same teaching that Zionism came from, which separated God's people into two groups, a heavenly group and an earthly group. And all of those things come from I believe, a demonic root of demonic doctrine, which actually has robbed the church right throughout history, and has always brought a sense of fear and foreboding of what might happen, but linking a lot of things in the Bible to this period, which actually, to be honest, it's just cherry picking certain things and putting together the Armageddon and all these type of things. Well, this Armageddon was referring to the same thing, the end of the old and the beginning of the new. So I would encourage you, to open up your heart to God and ask him for yourself. Of course, everyone's entitled to their own view and their own opinion, and you're entitled to yours. But I have very strong convictions on this, because God spoke to me about this in the mid 80s and totally renewed my whole understanding of what was going to happen in the future. Now, with a restoration perspective, I have an even more clear perspective on what God is doing, and he is going to restore all things, and we're involved as the sons of God in that process. And nothing that removes our authority should be accepted. Therefore, the rapture, which is a rescue mentality, Jesus comes to rescue it. Jesus is not going to come to rescue us. He is with us already to enable us to fulfill the restoration of all things, so the kingdom of God fills the earth and then increases beyond the earth out into the cosmos, which is an exciting prospect. If you enjoy these videos, would you please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe? It really does help. Thank you very much.